Hello and welcome to your comprehensive global news briefing for January 18th, 2026. We're tracking the major stories shaping our world today, from escalating geopolitical tensions in the Arctic to significant digital and political shifts in the Middle East. Along with cultural collaborations and essential travel updates, let's dive right into the headlines that are defining our week. Our lead story today takes us to the strategic and resource-rich Arctic, where tensions are flaring between the United States and its key European allies over the future of Greenland. Recent statements from Washington have hinted at the possibility of imposing trade measures against several European nations, including Denmark, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom. These potential actions are reportedly linked to ongoing and increasingly tense discussions about Greenland's geopolitical status and its vast untapped resources. The response from Europe has been swift and unified. European leaders have firmly rejected any notion of pressure-based diplomacy. Officials in Paris described the American approach as coercive and unacceptable, emphasizing that alliances should be based on mutual respect, not threats. In London, government spokespeople have publicly reaffirmed their unwavering support for Denmark's sovereignty, stating unequivocally that Greenland remains an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. Meanwhile, the people of Greenland are making their voices heard loud and clear. Across the island, from the capital Nuuk to smaller coastal communities, large public demonstrations have taken place. Residents have gathered to express their strong opposition to any change in their island's status, with a unified message echoing through the streets: Greenland is not for sale. These protests highlight a deep-seated desire to determine their own future, free from the geopolitical ambitions of larger world powers. This unfolding situation is more than just a diplomatic spat. It's a clear indicator of broader global shifts. Geopolitical analysts point to this as a prime example of the growing competition for influence in the Arctic region becoming more accessible due to climate change. The so-called Arctic Scramble involves not only access to valuable natural resources like rare earth minerals and hydrocarbons, but also control over new strategic shipping lanes. This Greenland dispute underscores the complex interplay of shifting alliances, regional security concerns, and the high-stakes game of resource politics in the 21st century. We will continue to follow this story closely as it develops. Now, we turn our attention to Iran, a nation at a critical crossroads where political unrest and digital policy changes are capturing global attention. Digital rights organizations are sounding the alarm over reports that Iranian authorities are accelerating plans to expand their national intranet system. The goal appears to be the creation of a walled-off, state-controlled digital ecosystem, which could severely limit or even entirely block access to the global internet for millions of its citizens. These moves follow a series of widespread internet blackouts and severe restrictions imposed earlier this month. These shutdowns significantly hampered communication, isolating communities and making it difficult for information to flow both within and out of the country. What began as public demonstrations over economic pressures such as rising inflation and unemployment have since evolved. The protests have expanded in scope, now encompassing broader expressions of public dissatisfaction with social and political conditions. International human rights groups have expressed grave concerns about the government's response. They have reported large numbers of detentions and are investigating claims of harsh crackdowns on protesters. Iran's leadership has publicly attributed the unrest to what they describe as foreign interference and externally funded agitators aiming to destabilize the country. However, international observers remain skeptical and are monitoring the situation with increasing urgency. They warn that pursuing a path of long-term digital isolation could have devastating and far-reaching economic and social consequences for Iran, further disconnecting it from the global community and stifling innovation and free expression. Shifting our focus to the wider Middle East, several other key developments continue to reshape the region's complex geopolitical landscape. In northern Syria, there are reports that government forces have made significant advances into areas previously controlled by Kurdish-led groups. This has prompted immediate calls for restraint and escalation from international diplomats and UN representatives, who are urging all parties to return to dialogue to prevent further bloodshed and displacement of civilians. In Yemen, the fragile security situation remains a major concern. Fresh reports indicate a continuation of military activity in the country's eastern regions. These clashes contribute to the ongoing instability that has plagued the nation for years, exacerbating one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Efforts to broker a lasting peace remain stalled, with regional powers continuing to back opposing sides. Meanwhile, Turkey's foreign minister has been on a diplomatic tour, engaging with leaders in neighboring countries to address a web of regional tensions. These discussions have spanned a range of issues, from security cooperation in Iraq to water rights disputes with Jordan and Syria. Analysts interpret these simultaneous developments as a reflection of the persistent challenges that define the modern Middle East. These include unresolved governance disputes, the proxy battles for regional influence between rival powers, and the ongoing complex involvement of international actors, each with their own strategic interests at stake. Now, for some important travel and logistics news, authorities in India have issued flight advisories for New Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport ahead of the country's upcoming Republic Day celebrations. In preparation for the National Parade and associated festivities, airspace management measures will be in effect. This means that flight schedules for both domestic and international travel may be affected between January 21st and January 26th. Officials are advising all travelers flying into or out of New Delhi during this period to confirm their flight details directly with their airlines in advance. They also recommend allowing for extra travel time to and from the airport to account for potential delays and heightened security measures. In brighter news, we turn to the world of international cultural exchange. The New Delhi World Book Fair 2026 has become a vibrant stage for highlighting the deep-rooted cultural cooperation between India and Russia. The event, one of the largest of its kind, showcased the rich shared literary traditions between the two nations. Organizers and participants emphasized how cultural exchange, especially through literature, can build and strengthen long-standing relationships, creating connections that transcend politics and diplomacy. In an era of complex global challenges and shifting alliances, events like this serve as a powerful reminder that literature continues to be a universal bridge, fostering mutual understanding and connecting societies on a deeply human level. Finally, let's take a brief journey around the world to look at some striking moments captured today. In Oymyakon, Russia, a village known as one of the coldest permanently inhabited places on Earth, a group of extraordinary endurance athletes braved the extreme conditions to participate in a winter marathon, a true test of human resilience against the elements. Meanwhile, in Kyiv, the Ukrainian capital, residents are grappling with severe winter conditions, challenges with municipal infrastructure exacerbated by freezing temperatures, have led to significant flooding and streets covered in thick layers of ice, creating hazardous conditions for daily life. Our final montage of images from around the world today captures the full spectrum of the human experience, from scenes of quiet daily life and moments of community resilience to striking natural landscapes. These pictures remind us of the shared beauty and challenges that connect us all across continents. That concludes our international news briefing for January 18th, 2026. These global stories are dynamic and continue to evolve, and we are committed to bringing you the very latest updates as they happen. Thank you for joining us. Stay informed, stay aware, and we'll see you next time.